It's Tuesday, November 7, 2017. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Prime Minister Andrew Holness last week asked for an extension to the zone of special operations in Denham Town, West Kingston.
The scourge of crime cannot be tackled with quick fixes. We must get to the root problems. The strategies must establish stability and long-lasting transformational results. Mr. Speaker, the zones of special operations is a whole-of-government response to crime in a strategic, coordinated, and sustainable manner. The ultimate mandate of the zone of special operations is to secure the right to life of all citizens.
Now he is to lead a 26-member social intervention committee which will oversee the build phase of SOZO. Omar Sweeney, Managing Director of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, is the Deputy Chairman. The other members listed in a statement from the Office of the Prime Minister includes the Permanent Secretaries in various ministries, the Mayor of Kingston, representatives of the police, as well as members of academia. And in a related story, security forces officially expanded the second zone of special operations to include communities closely neighboring Denham Town, the area initially declared by Prime Minister Andrew Holness last month. Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force Corporate Communications Unit, says it was expanded based on operations and intelligence assessment with regards to the areas around Denham Town. She says the information suggested that persons are moving from Denham Town into areas and seeking refuge in those places. State Minister for Finance and Public Service Rudyard Spencer says the Finance Ministry has informed the Police Federation, which represents rank and file police personnel, that the next meeting for wage talks is set for November 13. Speaking to the Gleaner, he also disclosed that the ministry will sit at the table for wage negotiations with the Jamaica Teachers Association on November 8 and the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions on November 14. However, in a news release, Chairman of the Police Federation, Sergeant Raymond Wilson, said the Federation has not received a formal information from the ministry to resume talks. The three members of Parliament elect from last week Monday's by-election in St. Andrew and St. Mary will be sworn in this afternoon at Gordon House in Duke Street in Kingston. The three successful candidates, the Jamaica Labour Party's Dr. Norman Dunn was elected to represent St. Mary Southeastern. The People's National Party's Mark Golding will represent St. Andrew Southern, and Dr. Angela Brown Burke of the PMP will represent St. Andrew Southwestern constituents. The House of Representatives meets at Gordon House at 2 p.m. and you can see it live right here on PBCJ. Mayfield All-Age and Top Hill All-Age schools in St. Elizabeth now boasts new community access points, or CAP sites. The centers were opened by the Technology Ministry recently, and the Portfolio Minister, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, says the energy-efficient facilities such as these are necessary to build out knowledge-based societies that supports Jamaica's ability to be competitive. Minister Wheatley says the resource centers are not only for the schools, but also for the wider community.
Lack of access to the internet contributes to extreme poverty, because what it does, it limits your exposure. And by rolling out facilities of this nature, we are bringing the world to every nook and cranny of Jamaica. We want you to use this facility to develop your own employment opportunities.
The public is being advised by the police to avoid all major thoroughfares in St. Thomas as roadblocks have been mounted by protesting residents for yet another day. Planned protests in several communities yesterday forced a number of schools, including the St. Thomas Technical, to suspend classes after residents used debris to block sections of several main roads, preventing the movement of vehicle traffic. Police personnel from the mobile reserve are assisting the local police with the effort to have the roadways cleared as soon as possible. In regional news, Belize's government has decriminalized the use of small amounts of marijuana. Adults can now have up to 10 grams of marijuana in their possession. But the Attorney General, Michael Priffett, says individual growing or selling of marijuana is still illegal.
Anywhere with those 10 grams or less, except on school property. And so we're asking people, we passed the law to try and give people a break to say if marijuana is your drug of choice, we're going to make a small portion of it legal, but like any other drug, please enjoy it responsibly and know that we want to keep it like any other legal drug away from children. You are not allowed to smoke it in public. So you have your 10 grams or less and you want to go home tonight and watch the game or do whatever you do at home, in your yard, whatever, you are free to smoke your marijuana.
The Attorney General also responded to concerns raised by the church on moral grounds.
Given what the church has been found guilty of in recent years, I think priests and pastors have no moral authority to try and judge anybody out here who wants to smoke marijuana. The churches don't rail against cigarettes. They don't rail against alcohol. And there's nothing to prove that marijuana is any more dangerous than those two perfectly legal drugs. So my question for the church would be, what is their true motivation behind this? They're coming out late. I just think that when you look at the pastors and different people who want to object, they just want to object for object's sake. We are not dictated by what the church wants. We're not dictated by what the BNTU wants or what the Mayas want or the Garinagu or the Creole or the Mestizo. We are dictated by what's in the best interest of everybody. And for those who want to yell and talk from the cheap seats, come down, put your name on a ballot, run for office. And then you can pass the laws you want or repeal the laws that we just passed. Until then, just shut up.
In Guyana, President David Granger is boasting prudent fiscal management on the part of his government since taking office. He made his comments during a recent meeting of Parliament.
David Granger is firm on the position that the country's economy is on the right path. He was at the time addressing the 71st sitting of the National Assembly on Thursday. Mr. Granger did not give credit to the perception that the economy is on the decline.
The nation's economy has been prudently managed over the past 30 months. This has allowed for moderate economic growth of 3.1% in 2015 and 3.3% in 2016.
The president admitted that there is an unfavorable external environment, which according to him, his administration managed to pull through.
Gold was a major contributor to this growth, with 712,707 ounces being produced last year, the highest in the country's history. Mr. Speaker, economic growth would not have been possible without the achievement of macroeconomic stability.
The Guyanese leader said the Ministry of Finance has been working to create a favorable environment for business development, to protect investment and to maintain a stable exchange rate.
In sports, the proposed historic three-match 2020 series between West Indies and Pakistan, scheduled for later this month in Pakistan, is now unlikely to come off before March next year. A Pakistan Cricket Board official told the press on Monday that the series was expected to be postponed because of an issue with smog in the city and the commitment of the leading West Indies players to the ongoing Bangladesh Premier League, the BPL. The series, scheduled for late November, clashes with the BPL, which started last weekend and wraps up on December 12. Still in cricket, the West Indies A are still riding high after clinching a series 11-inning win in the final one-dayer of their three-match series against Sri Lanka. Man of the match, Sheldon Cottrell, produced a lethal spell of bowling to propel the West Indies to a win. Here are the highlights.
The hosts bundled Sri Lanka A out for 107 in the 39th over, with left-arm speedster Cottrell taking 4 for 19 from 8.3 overs. Opener Nipun top scored with 47 but was one of just 4 batsmen in double figures and the only one to pass 13. Cottrell disposed of Sandun, who made just 6, and Roshin Silva, who managed just 3 runs to leave the innings tottering on 12 for 2 in the 5th over. And when Captain Dahani Da Silva was caught at the wicket off fast bowler Odin Smith for 3, the visitors were slumping at 28 for 3 in the 11th over. Nipun, who faced 113 deliveries and struck 2 fours, put on 25 for the 4th wicket, with Charith Asa Lanka the highest stand of the innings. But once they were separated, the last 7 wickets perished for 54 runs. Seamer Kyle Mayers was also superb, taking 3 for 24.
In athletics, Britain's Mo Farah is one of 3 male finalists for the IAAF 2017 World Athlete of the Year award. The 34-year-old, who defended his 10,000 meters world title in London in August, will compete with Wade van Niekerk and Qatar's Mutez Issa Barshim. South African Van Niekerk retained his world 400 meters world title in London, where Barshim won the high jump. Greece's Ekaterini Stefanidi and Belgium's Nafsatu Thiam and Ethiopia's Almaz Ayana are up for the female award. That's the news. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.